Am I the asshole for shaving my stepson's long hair without his mom's permission? My husband I have 3 sons together, 2, 4/5, and I have 2 stepsons, 10/13. We have 50-50 custody. I cut my kids' hair myself and my stepsons get their haircut at a barber when their mom has custody. In the last few years my husband has occasionally taken them to get their haircut. Wednesday afternoon I decided to give my 4 and 5 years old's haircuts. The 10-years-old then asked if I would cut his hair too. His hair was currently shoulder length and he had been growing it for a while. He wanted me to give him a buzzcut. I asked if he was sure and then texted his dad to make sure he was okay with it. My husband asked if I would wait till he came home so he could watch and record it. When he came home I shaved it and he was very happy with the result. Yesterday his mom picked him up from school and saw his hair. She immediately called my husband and was pissed about the haircut. Later in the evening she messaged me on IG to have a go at me and say I had no right cutting her son's hair without her permission and that it was a big change and I shouldn't have allowed him to do it implosively. I didn't reply to her because I didn't want to feed into any drama. I thought stepson was happy with his haircut and that's all that really matters. However, the more I think about it the more I'm unsure if she's right. If my son had a stepmom and came home from their house with a drastically different haircut I think I might have been upset too and possibly think that person crossed an unspoken boundary. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. You got the okay from his dad, and he is old enough to make his own decisions about his hair anyways. It would have been real weird for you to call his mom and ask after his dad already said to go ahead. Not the asshole. Your stepson asked you to give him a buzzcut and you asked him if he was sure and got confirmation from his dad. It sounds like your stepson was very happy with the result and that should be the most important thing. It's understandable that his mom was upset, but it's not like you made the decision without consulting anyone. You also didn't feed into any drama, which is always a good thing. Not the asshole. Age 10 is old enough to decide for himself that he wants short hair. It will grow back. Only if there had been any pressure, subtle bribes, or subtle punishments would I think the mom had a case. You got the dad's permission. You didn't make the decision yourself. Dad has equal custody and just as much right to make that decision. Not the asshole. Not the asshole. 1. It's your husband's responsibility to communicate with his ex about it after you told him, and before him telling you to go ahead. 2. If your stepson really wants a buzzcut, his mom should probably let him try it. Am I the asshole for hating a puppy? I'ma preface this with I hate dogs. Can't stand them. I think they are gross, I avoid them, I do anything I can to not have them in my life. I have a 6-month-old son. Best kid in the entire world. We are at the neighborhood park, not a dog park and all dogs are supposed to stay leashed, and my son, my wife and I are having a picnic. It's going great. Baby is on a big blanket and having the time of his life rolling around, playing, giggling. It's a blast seeing him so happy. We are semi-near a walking path. Next thing I know there is a pair of puppies coming right at us. They are unleashed, and their owner is just standing on the walking path looking at them running toward us. I didn't notice them until they were pretty much on our blanket. At that point I picked up my son and yelled what the fuck to the guy. He looked appalled that I didn't enjoy the stunt his dogs and him pulled. My wife is yelling at him, I'm yelling at him. I straight up say I hate your dogs, can you get them? His puppies are just sitting on our blanket expecting to get petted. I start walking toward the guy and am yelling at him to get his dogs. He starts getting mad at us. He says they are friendly and just wanted to play, they aren't going to hurt anyone. I tell him he just ruined our lunch. He excuses his and the dog's behavior by saying they are puppies. I don't care, I just want him and his dogs gone. I'm just cussing at him continuously. He's telling me to calm down but I'm hot. I continue cussing and he finally grabs his 2 dogs and is like who doesn't like puppies. He finally leaves. Buddha ruined our lunch. In hindsight I may have been too aggressive with him. Am I the asshole? He shouldn't have let his dogs run around unleashed in a non-dog park, but you had the overreaction of the century by straight up telling him you hate his dog, and continuously cussing, especially next to your kid. Him for having the dogs unleashed and not removing them immediately, but you are the bigger asshole for the entire over-the-top ridiculous reaction. You sat there repeatedly cussing at someone in front of your child. You are teaching him how to react to people even at his young age. He has learned the lesson that relatively minor incidents are approached with anger and verbal assaults. You are also teaching him to hate and likely fear dogs, and you. Not the asshole. Puppies can do accidental damage to a 6-month baby, and they can do a lot of intentional damage if they attack because baby pulled the ears, tails, etc. That owner was beyond irresponsible. And I love puppies. But I hate irresponsible puppy owners. Not the asshole. I love dogs, but I can't stand dog owners who don't respect people's boundaries. Your puppy is not God's gift to humanity. The nerve to let them unleashed near a 6-month-old baby. Sure, you could have remained a little calmer, but the fact that he tried to justify it at all is even more inappropriate. I never let my dog unleashed on public property. Never near a stranger's children. And if someone is uncomfortable with him, I keep him far away from them. I love my dog, but not everyone has to. Irresponsible dog owners are irritating as hell. Not the asshole. The moment you told him to pull his dogs away and he didn't, he was the big time. It's like putting spiders on the shoulder of someone who has extreme arachnophobia and saying, "Relax, they're not gonna do anything." Am I the asshole for removing my wife's wrist privileges? Sorry for this random throwaway. I am 36 male and she is 34 female. The honest core of this question is that I am super anti-notification. I know I sound like a boomer, but I got sick of knowing that Aunt Maple commented on my Insta post years ago. I will open the app if I want to know that. I do not need to know about Aunt Maple's comment until the second I seek out that information. However, I appreciated the health and activity features on the Apple Watch. So I got one for myself and I tediously curated the information delivered to me on my wrist. Notifications are even worse on the watch because I can't exactly just flip the watch over and ignore it. My wife, whom I love very much, wanted to make sure she could get a hold of me, so we use a chat app that allows notifications. The rules were very clear when I switched to this app. She can text me once and I'll answer at my earliest convenience. I will always know it is her texting because she is the only person who has access to my wrist notifications. Any more than one text means emergency. She has run afoul of that rule many times, as you can guess. She says she very literally cannot stop herself when she gets excited and that she's not neurotypical like me, so I can't understand. And she's right. I don't understand what it's like to have ADHD, but I do know what my boundaries are with my wrist buzzing while I'm at work. Last week, she sent me like 4 consecutive texts because she found out that her coworker, who I don't know and frankly do not care about, had gotten a DUI. While he was in college, years ago. So that night I sat down with her and said I was not going to do the wrist notifications anymore, and that I'd regularly check my phone for messages from her. She was kind of vaguely mad about it for a week, but yesterday I finally just confronted her about it and she said that she thought I was being disrespectful of her limitations and that everyone gets used to notifications eventually. I said it had been 3 months and I was still not used to it, and she said I should give it more time. Here's where I might have been an asshole. I told her I thought this was a tiny issue that wasn't even worth being angry about. I still check my phone for her texts and I've never missed one by more than like 15 minutes. I also explained that she can still call me if there's an emergency. She's still mad. Am I the asshole? ETA okay, she got home and I just had a short but really helpful conversation with her. She said that she didn't really want to buzz me all the time, but she felt really special that she was the only person who I allowed to text me on the watch. She was sad that we lost that little intimate connection. And that makes total sense, and we both committed to finding a good solution that makes us both happy. Really sorry that I dragged so many people into this. It was a small thing that could have been solved by both us being super vulnerable and honest with each other. Not the asshole. She sent 4 messages about a coworker's DUI from college years ago? That was 4 text messages worthy? Cell phones, smart watches and instant communication are useful, but sometimes people just want a little peace and quiet. I know I will be downvoted, but you sound like a patronizing No assholes here. Do you even like her? Hopefully she learns not to reach out to you excitedly, because it's not important to you. Not the asshole. Notifications are annoying. I have them all blocked on my watch except texts and calls. If you can, leave the call notification on, and when she calls you'll know it's an emergency. Otherwise you will get back to her when you next check your phone. My husband knows I like to send multiple texts with random shit. It's not important and he doesn't need to answer, but if I call him at work, that means I need him to call me back. Not the asshole because she's ADHD, she does get used to notifications. In fact, they just become background noise to her. She doesn't just ignore them. They don't even register after a while. She doesn't know what it's like to not be ADHD. Notifications interrupt. She couldn't respect your limits on the app, and that made the app detract from your life and relationship rather than enhance it. No reason to keep it. Am I the asshole for telling my mom outrageous lies and making her look ridiculous? My mom refuses to believe me when I tell her I don't know something. When I still lived at home, she would ask me personal questions about my brothers or my friends. I tried to explain that I had no way of knowing what my brother, who was away at university, was doing for the weekend. Or why my friend had colored hair. It didn't matter. The questions never stopped. So I have developed a method to deal with her. It has 4 stages. 1. If she asks me something that I know or have the ability to Google, "Where did Brendan Fraser do for the last decade?" then I answer her question to the best of my ability. 2. If she asks me a question that I have no possible way of knowing, I tell her clearly that, I don't know. 3. If she persists, I come up with a random but plausible answer. For example, when she asked me what my friend from high school, who is married to my brother's wife's sister, was doing with his old car when he bought his new car, I told her that he traded it in. 4. When she doesn't believe the plausible story. Then I go nuts. So when she said that she had spoken to my sister-in-law and he wasn't trading it in them, I come up with a random story. The car was stolen, and when the cops found it, the entire trunk was packed with coolers full of dead squirrels and elk meat. So they are keeping it as evidence, and that's why he is getting a new Bronco. I don't know why, but she believes the weirdest shit I come up with and passes it on as facts. This has now bitten me in the ass. My brother said that when she was over there visiting, she asked him about the squirrels and elk meat. And that it made the visit weird. Everyone is mad at me for misleading my mom and for her embarrassing herself at my brother's house. I think she needs to learn that I don't know everything and that she should accept that as an answer. Biwaha. Yeah. Not the asshole. Your mom needs to learn that an honest, "I don't know," is the best answer you can give. If the reality of it doesn't sink after the squirrels fiasco, there's probably no hope. I would suggest going to the straight-up outlandish, though. Or use conditionals. Maybe they're trading it in? You should ask him. When that's ignored, well, maybe they loaned it out to Harry. You know how the Blue Beetle is always breaking down. Not the asshole. I don't know why some moms are this way. I heard a story a while back about a guy who got, "I don't know," tattooed on his arm so he could just point at it when his mom asked him questions he couldn't answer. Demanding answers like that is so lazy of her. Not the asshole. How on earth are you going to know everything? If someone says, "I don't know," that is the answer. Though, I would stop telling her lies, even plausible ones. I don't know. I don't know. Stop asking. Have you hit your head? Why do you think I know when I have said I don't? If you feel like saying something ridiculous to prove she won't get an answer out of you, make it really ridiculous. Susan was abducted by the Death Realm creature Zansaku, and her husband had to trade the car for her freedom. But your mom is so naive. Watch her carefully, because any scammer could scam her easily. Skip the first 3 stages and just go nuts. Sprinkle your stories with aliens, ghosts, pirates, skeletons. Make it fun and entertaining, since your words are taken as facts. Others can answer themselves if they wish to. You are not obligated to do so after so many futile attempts. Not the asshole.